Go Blue, everybody. BBQ at the Big House, special interview, and next, all coming up on Michigan Wolverines Live.
You guys should check out the Michigan Wolverine Live. They're out here doing great things, doing great podcasts, great live shows. They're really just doing their thing, help them blow up.
And thanks everybody for coming to another episode of Michigan Wolverines Live. It is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. My name's John Diadamo, and you can follow me on Twix at John Diadamo here. As always, I do want to remind everybody to hit the like button, share this with a friend, and of course, hit the subscribe button. And we're going to explain why in just a little bit. As we wait for Andrew to join us, we're going to start our show as normal. So I wanted to bring on my co-host and the host of the Thursday call-in show here at 8 p.m. Eastern. We've got TJ in the house. TJ, go Blue.
Hey, go Blue. What is up, Wolverine Nation? Let's get it.
Absolutely, big weekend barbecue at the Big House. It's feeling like another one of those jam-packed shows.
Major weekend. We are expecting a very long show today, so everyone strap in, get ready because we have a lot to talk about. We're talking about a recruiting weekend with over 60 visitors. Obviously, we won't hit on all 60, but we will hit on the top targets and the names you need to know. So looking forward to that. We got some other topics we're gonna hit on, and then we're looking forward to Andrew Marsh joining us later in the show. So a lot to get to, John.
There is, but of course we need to start with the big fella. So we got Kenneth Grant is now 710 away from overtaking Ryan Day.
We are making ground. We are catching Ryan Day. As you can see, we're about 70% away from where we started when we made this graphic. Yeah, dude, Kenneth Grant is making some damn ground on Ryan Day, and Ryan Day better look over his shoulder because the Michigan channel is definitely on its way. So if anybody who is unsubscribed watching the show now, please subscribe to Michigan Football, the voice of college football. We greatly appreciate it. We are in the pursuit of Ryan Day, the Ohio State channel in the voice of college football network. They are number 2 in the network. We are number 3. We would all agree that's unacceptable. So help us get there. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely true, and we already have some messages coming in from YouTube members. Some go Blue from Les here. We have Jackson Johnson who says, "I love that theme song." Thank you, Jackson. So Jackson, the theme song, as those who are longtime viewers will know, is David Martinez out of Texas, and he has generously agreed to donate his use of the song, the use of the song for the show. So we have an official song here at Michigan Wolverines Live. We appreciate that. We've got Keoki Kapanas here. So thanks for that. Oh, look at this. We got everybody. We got Ferris, we got Moose. Love it. The community's here, TJ.
Yeah, they always are, man. You know what's funny too is we look at we look at other Michigan content. We see our main people here on those channels doing just in the comments. So it's always good to see. Listen, we got the best community in the game. We got the best community in the network, no question. And currently, I would say we are building, as it stands now, one of, if not the best community in all of Michigan content. And we greatly appreciate all of you. We are up to 48 members, John. We're at 48 members only about a month and a half into this. So looking forward to our hangout that we should be probably announcing. At least we should be putting some times out this week, I would think, and then getting a day dialed down to where we can all attend. And so be on the lookout for that. That'll be in the community tab on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I really appreciate, and all of us do, I know, the members that have come so far. And I do have the link here. You may notice that a lot of people that are in chat right now have a special badge next to their name, or they're in green. So if they have a special badge next to their name, they're in green. That means that they're a member. And if their name is here on the ticker in the bottom of the show than their members. And so if you see emojis that are special, like a Connor Stallions or M logo, or those are members. And you can join the membership as low as $2.99 a month. So we really do appreciate everybody who's done that so far to support us. Okay, with all that said, this is a pretty big weekend, TJ. Barbecue at the Big House. We've been talking about it for weeks, and it's finally almost here. So obviously, you've been following this very closely, and we've got a lot of commits to talk about, targets to watch, everything else. But before we kind of cover any of that, I'd love to just understand, for those who may be checking in for the first time in a couple of months, which is totally okay. People unplug, they come back, and maybe they haven't heard some of this stuff. Like, what do you think will look different at this barbecue at the Big House from previous barbecues at the Big House?
Well, I know for a fact that they're looking to make this event one of the biggest barbecue at the Big Houses there ever has been, because typically the event's typically one day. It's now a 2-day event. If you've noticed the official visits the past month and a half or so, it's been a bigger event in the sense of they're doing more. The photo shoots are on a higher level. There just seems to be a more professional, polished presentation by Michigan right now, which is great to see. The recruiting staff is far larger, so there's more people to host the different players and make sure that they can hold an event like this with over 60 visitors, guys. And I mean 60 players. I'm not talking about parents. That's extra, right? I'm talking about there's going to be 60 recruits on campus this weekend. This is a major recruiting weekend for 2025 to 2026 to 2027. I expect this weekend to be huge. I'm looking forward to all the photos that the different recruits are going to start taking and videos and all that. So it should be a great weekend that we should all be paying attention to. This is a major event for Michigan.
Yeah, I love it. And with some of the hires that were made, I think that some of those hires were strategically done. And at least one aspect of why they're here is for events like this, right? Erin Dunstan, she's here for events like this to execute them to perfection, and to level them up a bit. And I think this could be the largest barbecue at the Big House in Michigan history.
Yeah, I think it will be. And I agree. Erin Dunstan's definitely, that's the thing. Like, let's see what she does with it, because she's done a great job so far. Since she's been hired, there's been an extra level of just the event overall. Like I talked about before, a more professional, polished presentation by Michigan. I mean, we look like a dominant recruiting program right now, not only through, philosophically speaking, through NIL and other things that means, but also, forgive my dog if anyone hears my dog right now. But but also like just presentation. What is happening with the photo shoots and all the other things for the families. And I'm interested, and I've seen this in the comments. How is the food going to look? I mean, I expect Michigan to up their game. Let's put it that way.
Well, that would be great, and I can't wait. Like you said, I can't wait to see the photos. It should be great, but. We do have some commits that are coming. So they've already committed to the university, but they're coming to support, and a lot of them are helping in the recruiting process, right? So some of these people that you see on screen, they're already rolling up their sleeves and trying to recruit their teammates at their high schools, trying to recruit some of their friends that they've played with at various camps. So yeah, some of these guys that are committed are coming.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what many of these guys are here for. They are here to represent Michigan. They are here to put on their recruiting hat and land these targets from the 2025 class, from the 2026 class, the future forward. I mean, Carter Smith, Jasper Parker, Andrew Olish, Nate Marshall, Kainoa Winston. These guys are cornerstone players that are looking to sell Michigan to these recruits who are still a little undecided, and let them know, hey, let's play ball, let's build together, and let's win a national championship. That's what we're here to do. And they're going to show each other, like, listen, these kids are going to spend the next 3 to 5 years together, so they got to get to know each other on that level, and that's exactly why they're coming up here. And they're definitely going to be there is definitely going to be an all-in effort from our current commits from the 25 class to the 26 class with Brady Hart. Brady Hart is going to put in some serious work. Like, we're going to get into that when we start talking about 26 targets. But yeah, I mean, Michigan's that's what's so good about Michigan too, though, is like we have such a good nucleus of committed players already that they're going to give us an edge in terms of recruiting other players. So it's great to see. And the reason I want to make a note here, Jalen Williams is not visiting because he's doing a camp or he has a scrimmage or something along those lines, which is why he's unable to attend. But if that was not the case, he'd also be up here. And also to add to this list, Jacob Washington, wide receiver out of Louisiana, will also be attending the barbecue at the Big House. So it's going to be a great weekend for the current committed prospects. And they really should make, in my opinion, a lot of progress with the uncommitted targets, which we'll hit on next.
Yeah. So kind of starting with the 25 people, Andrew Marsh, who we are in the works right now, trying to help him get onto the show. So work in progress. But Andrew Marsh is coming, Jerome, Myles, and Jayden Sanders. So walk us through some of these people and like where these are at and how barbecue at the Big House could help impact some of these targets.
Yeah, so I mean, first up, we'll talk about the big dog, the man of the hour, literally the man of the hour for our show too, is Andrew Marsh. This is top priority. This kid is a dog. He's a savage on the field. I cannot wait to do his recruiting breakdown because I love his huddle tape. So he's priority, no question. Michigan's going to be doing an all-in effort here to close and get his commitment for Michigan. I do feel good about this recruitment. As you know, our viewers know, we've talked about this for a long time. Is this Jerome, Myles, or Andrew Marsh, John?
Jerome.
Okay, let's hold off on that. Yeah. All right. So but again, Andrew Marsh. I mean, look, it's closing time, so he's looking to potentially decide in August. That seems to be where it's heading. I don't want to confirm anything without his confirmation, at least here. So we'll let him tell us when he plans on committing. But so it's looking, in my opinion, it's looking good. He's been here 3 times in the last 2 months or something along those lines. And, Michigan's made a big move here. This is a top 50 talent wide receiver. This is a major player. This is the type of player Michigan was not getting. This is also the type of player where if you want to expand a playbook, this is who you get, so this is major, man. And, shout out to Michigan staff for putting in the work. I mean, this kid's also from Texas. Andrew Marsh is from Texas. So, I think, if Michigan can land a player of this caliber, it'd be not only a huge jump for the recruiting class, but the future of Michigan. So it's exciting to see.
Before we do anything else, this is kind of the perfect segue, because Andrew's here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in. We've got special guest here, Andrew Marsh in the house. Wow. Andrew, perfect timing. We just talked about you on Targets to Watch, and here you are.
Yes, sir. How are y'all doing?
Doing great, man. Appreciate having you on, man. So what's going on? How are things going where you
are? Everything's going good, really. Just got back in town. Was out of town in Florida for like a little vacation type deal.
Nice.
So really just glad to be back home, getting ready for football season, ready for the grind.
Nice. Whereabouts? I'm over in the Cape in West Florida.
Okay. We was out there in Destin area.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yes, sir.
All right, John. All right, Andrew. So I'll tell you right now, our community is extremely excited to have you on. You are a major target for Michigan. We're all very aware of. I think we got some feedback, Andrew, right now, but from my mic to your phone right now. But do you have earbuds at all or no?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. All right, we'll make it work. All right, so so again, we're excited to have you on. So my first question for you, Andrew, is just so the Michigan community get to know you and learn more about you as the player. Every athlete has influences in their lives. What were some of yours growing up through your journey as a football player?
For me, I would say my biggest influence is my mom. She's always there. She's always been there. For me, she's just like one of the biggest role models in my life. She's just someone that I look up to, someone that I have a lot of respect for. I would say for like as a game aspect, growing up, I always loved to watch DeAndre Hopkins. Just the fact that he always gonna catch the ball. He would go seasons without dropping a pass. So
D-Hop, yeah.
Yeah, are you still following DeAndre Hopkins now that he's in Tennessee?
yes, sir. I try and keep up with him,
Yeah,
even though he left the city though.
yeah, he did. All right, John.
And before I ask this, I do want to remind everybody here, and Andrew, we've got a community that is awesome, and I know when Micah came on, he got a nice little follower bump after the show. I'm encouraging everybody here to give Andrew a follow on X, and are there any others that we should be putting up as well?
Y'all can follow my Instagram.
Nice.
Is it the same handle?
It's Andrew Marsh _3.
All right, Michigan Nation, give our boy a follow. Support Andrew Marsh because we really appreciate him coming on our show.
There it is. So, yeah, growing up, I know sometimes there's a lot of sports that people play, and then they kind of pick the one that's really their calling. What kind of drove you to football, and kind of what's kind of gone into your success so far playing football?
I don't know, to be honest, because basketball was really my first love, and then soccer was the first sport I ever played, and I really played everything else in between that. But I would say probably football. I ended up with football just because I was the best at it. So kind of just tried to build on that. And then I would say for me, like where I am now, the biggest thing I tell people is just consistency, making sure I'm staying consistent whatever I'm doing, just working hard, just making sure that it's consistent hard work though. I would say that's been how I've elevated my game the most.
Absolutely. No, that's a great answer. So, all right. So, a lot of us don't get the opportunity to be a highly ranked national recruit. So many of us are outsiders looking into the recruiting process. Walk us through the recruiting process, Andrew. And if you can you kind of tell us what it is about Michigan that's sticking out to you? And then also give us an idea of what it is like to go through a recruiting process from your junior year into your senior year. What is going on? Like, what's going through this, like, through your mind as you go through this year?
I mean, first off, the process has just been crazy. Really above and beyond what I've expected in every way. Just always super busy, going from one place to the next place and talking to a bunch of people. But it's definitely something that I've dreamed about. So I'm definitely glad to be here. Definitely worked to get here. Just taking it day by day. I would say like the best way to kind of deal with it is just having the right people around you, kind of just being surrounded by the right group of people, the right circle, confiding in them, talking to them, making decisions. Um, I would just say that really just having the right people.
Absolutely. So, all right, then what is it that sticks out to you about Michigan? Like, what has Michigan done to become a program of consideration for you?
For me, I would say Michigan's always stayed consistent throughout my recruiting. They're always there. They're always there to text me, to call me, and my mom. Um, so I would really just say the people. Again, the people there, really good people, super personable, approachable, just really easy to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely that's been a common thread. Like it is the people, right? Like that definitely seems to be something we're hearing a lot, which is great to hear that the coaching staff is putting in that work
Yes,
and
sir.
Is staying consistent with you.
Yes, sir. It is.
So one of our big topics today is barbecue at the Big House. So what are you kind of most looking forward to when you go visit Michigan for barbecue at the Big House?
Um, I would say just to get back up there for the most part. See some of the guys again, the coaches, really just get back up there in Ann Arbor. Really just that.
All right.
Nice.
All right. Well, no, I mean, that's cool. I mean, you should see, a lot of the classes going to be up there. Obviously Ron Bellamy, someone you've had a relationship with, you'll be able to meet up with again. But so as we know, with the recruiting situation, there comes a point where you got to finalize your choices. And so what is the most important factors for you when it comes to making a decision for your future at playing college football?
For me, it's pretty simple. I really just want to go somewhere. I'm gonna get my education because I really want to get into business and entrepreneurship and stuff. So, and real estate. So somewhere that can really push me in that aspect.
Yeah.
And then somewhere where I have a fair chance to get on the field early. Um, I really think that I can make the most out of that. And then just somewhere that's going to develop me, get me to the league.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's looking at your tape, man. I think you are definitely a player who can get on the field pretty early. So looking forward to, seeing your career, whether it's Michigan or if it's not Michigan, looking forward to seeing your career progress, at the high school level into college.
Well, I have to make the point. I graduated from Michigan, and some of my friends went to the Ross School of Business, and so they love it. They loved it, and they got to do a lot of networking with companies, as part of that. So it's kind of helps in terms of setting you up with some of those relationships. So definitely, Ross, you got the right mindset there to kind of get that rolling. So regardless of the school that you do wind up choosing, I'm sure that you have some goals that, you kind of have in mind for, where you do go. I mean, what are some of your goals, with the school that you do choose, in addition to education, which you already mentioned?
I would say I definitely want to maybe either break a school record. I definitely want to win a championship.
There we go.
Have over 1,000 yards. Really, I want to have like a 1,500-yard season. I feel like that would be really good.
Yeah, hell yeah, 1,500. Yeah, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns. That sounds good to me. I agree.
I'm sure a lot of people in this chat just got real happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, so tell us. So for those who are unfamiliar, with Andrew Marsh, the football player, let everybody know, what kind of football player are you? What is your mentality on the field when you play on Friday nights?
I would say my mentality is just I really can't be stopped. At least I like to think so when I'm on the field.
I agree.
But I would say really just a player that's gonna come work, player that can lead the team. But more than that, just I could play someone that could play inside, outside, really wherever you need them to. Just get open, get the ball in his hands. I feel like I can make people miss, really get in the end zone, work after the catch, and then I would say another big thing is just my catch radius, my ability to catch the ball and like track the ball. I feel like that's above a lot of people.
Yeah, you also don't go down on first contact either. You play through first contact. You're a physical receiver. I mean, like right now, I mean, we're just watching your tape. Like right now, right there, prime example. Like you are literally a dog on the field, bro. Like your highlight tape is extremely fun to watch.
Thank you.
Most receivers would have gone down with all those defenders, but like I immediately thought of Roman Wilson, knocking, like getting past that first wave and then going for it.
I like to think that I tell the guys in the receiver room, can't let the first guy get us. So after we catch the rock, just don't let the first man get you.
Hell yeah, man.
Absolutely. So look, we talked about Ron Bellamy a little bit already, just alluded to him. How's that relationship going, and just what are some of your closest relationships that you have with kind of the Michigan coaching staff?
I would say that relationship with Coach Bellamy, I would say that's my strongest relationship at the school. Which I can't really complain since he'll be my coach. if that's where I would be at. But really, just his personable, really easy to talk to. He's really consistent too. He's someone that's always calling me, someone that's always texting me, always checking up on me, making sure I'm good. So I would say over the few years that he's been recruiting me, the relationship has definitely gotten good in that aspect.
Nice. That's good to hear. So, on top of outside of the Michigan coaching staff, you also have the Michigan class who are currently committed to Michigan. What players are you connecting with most who are currently committed to Michigan?
I've been talking to a few, not too many.
Okay.
Kind of more waiting to get back up there, see a little bit
Yeah,
more people, especially going back up there to the barbecue.
definitely.
Well, one of the big struggles I know I had after getting accepted to Michigan is senior year of high school, getting that final push, right? At the end there. So what what are some of your goals for that last year? And what are you kind of looking to shoot for before you set foot in wherever you go?
I would say really, um, just to get better as a whole, off the field, on the field, really in every aspect, just get better. Make sure that I'm ready to leave the house, be prepared for life. Um, really just walk into the school and know what I got to do.
Nice. So I want to pull a bit of an audible here. We got a super chat from one of our members, and he asked a pretty good question I thought would be good to ask you, Andrew. And so Blue Wolverine gave us a $4.99 super chat. We really appreciate your contribution, Blue Wolverine. He says, Andrew, great to see you again. Last time I asked, what was the best advice you've ever received? And then what is your passion outside of sports?
I would say the best advice I've ever received, probably just be to keep going. No matter what it is that you're going through, no matter what it is happening or how tough it is, how easy it is, just keep going. No matter what, it'll always get hard before it gets good. Really, just to always keep going.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And do you have any passions outside of sports, Andrew?
I really like to listen to music. I really like to drive and stuff. Um,
It's cruise, yeah.
I like to hoop. I like to hoop.
Yeah.
Don't let my mom hear me, but I like it.
That's funny. Hey, Michigan's got of course I'm sure you do. They got that basketball court in the weight room.
Yes, sir. I've been up there a few times.
Yeah. I was like, of course of course. All right, Andrew. So it's been honestly, man, it's been a pleasure having you on our show. So I mean, what are your final thoughts? Anything you want to share to the Michigan community, and then lastly, let everyone know, even though we shared it earlier, where they can find you so they can follow you on all your socials.
Yes, sir. You can follow me on Instagram at Andrew Marsh, _3. You can follow me on X, Andrew Marsh, ATM3, and that's really on my socials.
There we go. You heard him, Michigan
Nice.
Nation. Let's give him a follow. Let's support our guy here.
And it does look like so we've got Lady Lake Music who just followed you on Twitter X. So yeah, we hopefully get you a couple from the community there. And but I do want to thank you for coming on. I know you could have done a lot of things, and you decided to spend time on this show.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Andrew. And good luck on your recruiting journey. Have fun at Barbecue at the Big House, and we look forward to hearing your decision. I guess I will ask, do you have a timeline on when you decided or when you would like to make a decision on a team or a college for the future?
Right now we're discussing like the end of next month.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, we will all, ourselves and our community included, will all be watching for that. And we wish you luck, man. Good luck on the journey from training to your recruiting in high school, play in the fall, man. So good luck, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Go blue, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Andrew.
All right. Likewise.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, hell yeah, man. So Andrew Marsh, man of the hour, man. What a great interview. Appreciate him joining us. Yeah, he's cool, man. He's a cool kid. It was great to get to know him. Hopefully Barbecue at the Big House goes as we all think it will, and hopefully Michigan can close, make the move, and be able to close and get him to have him commit to Michigan by the end of August. We've heard him now publicly say on our show it's looking to be the end of August, so we're all gonna be looking forward to that. And again, shout out to him for coming on our show. We really appreciate it.
Really cool. And before we bring on Ferris and get to our regularly scheduled programming and topics, Moose is asking Andrew Marsh. Sorry, we missed it by that much. But we actually did ask this question. What is it about Michigan that has made you interested in them? And he said the people. He said the people and but I kind of inferred the business opportunities too, like the education.
Well, he also said early playing time, which I would agree. I mean, Michigan offers that opportunity for sure. There's no question, after, next up, who's next up? It's, Andrew Marsh comes to Michigan. I do think he will get early playing time. I think, look, what Michigan wants to do with the playbook, and then, his opportunity to get on the field along with, he wants to get an entrepreneurship. Listen, Ross Business School, we all know, one of the top business schools in the nation. It does seem to be aligning to be a good fit. Now let's hope, as we all do think it will, this weekend goes extremely well, and then by the end of August we have a commitment to Michigan.
Fingers crossed. End of next month, as he said. So watch this space, because we will be following it, and we will be reporting on it as it happens. But before we continue with the recruiting topic, we of course want to bring on our regular analyst here at the Voice of College Football and the Michigan Channel. Ferris Khan is in the house. Ferris, great to have you as always. Hope you enjoyed your time last week.
It was awesome. Can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure. Okay. Yes, it was awesome. Your interview was awesome. It is just great to be part of this team. I mean, we're not only are we growing, but we're getting great interviews. So this is fantastic. So
absolutely, man. We're climbing the mountain, Ferris. As our community knows, where we are is not where we're heading. So stay tuned, because Michigan football, the Voice of College Football, is only going up.
Now I know we might have a marathon session today. It is now 5:37 here. We'll see if the sun sets by the time we finish today. So
since you brought it up, TJ, of the network and everything that we're working on, please consider giving the VOCFB a follow, because there's a lot of good content that's being put out there since we've rebranded, lists and all kinds of things from our various contributors. So if you haven't followed us yet, Double J just helped us out and put the link right there in the chat. So we appreciate Jackson, of course, always coming in the clutch, and give that a look, the Twix account.
Absolutely. Yeah. So listen, if you're a fan of college football in general, give our Twitter a follow. We're building it. We're not only promoting the network, but we're talking about college football as a whole. A lot of fun over there. Our rankings have gotten a lot of debate going with a few of them, which is good to see. And this is the Voice of College Football Twitter account. Give us a follow. We're trying to, just like the channel, guys, we're trying to build the network. We have a lot of goals. If you guys missed it, and you guys are not on Twitter, we had a representative at the Big Ten Media Days today. And actually, we have a little special request at the end of the show in regards to Big Ten Media Days. We're going to be asking for your input on questions to ask Sharon Moore and the guys who were there, from Donovan Edwards, Ben Bredesen, and there's one more, Makari Page. So at the end of the show, we are going to be taking question requests, and we're going to have our representative do his best to ask those questions for our community. So we greatly appreciate that. Give him see John trying to show JR at media days if you can. I think you got to scroll down a little bit.
We got Ryan. Oh, there he is.
One more, yep, right there. So JR, one of our analysts within the network, is at media days right now for the network, representing the voice of college football, and couldn't be happier. And this is what we're building. We are building a network that is going to have a far larger reach, and there's more to come. I've told you guys for months that where we are as a channel and where we're going is now. Where we are as a channel is now where we're going, and the same thing stands true for the network. We are going to build this network, and there's a lot to come. There's things behind the scenes that I'm looking forward to revealing to all of you, because I think it's something we're all going to look forward to. So and shout out to our guy Tim, another analyst within the network, writer for Trojan Wire, which is a part of USA Today. He does the USC channel. We greatly appreciate Tim. Shout out to our USC channel within the network. They're doing great things over there, man. Their live streams are very similar to our, in terms of engagement and community. So another strong
they got a great community, and for those there, I'm sure there's some crossover Michigan / USC people. There is they do have some great bonus content as well, with Mark Rogers, voice of college football, and Matt Zemek. So their channel they've got a lot of great stuff over there. Yeah. So thanks, Tim, for stopping by, and he's encouraging everybody to hit that like button. And then we're about to jump right back into where we left off with recruiting, but we did get a super chat here. Justin, John and TJ, did you see the Kirk Campbell interview? I did not.
I did not. Did that release today? Put that in the comments, because I'll definitely check that out when I get the opportunity. It must have been at the Champions Circle golf event, I would think. But all right, so back to our recruiting segment. So we already hit on Andrew Marsh. As you know, we're looking forward to Andrew Marsh. The next big target is Jerome Myles. This is a serious target for Michigan. We are trying to make a move here. It's in reality, it's closing time for Jerome Myles. So he was formally committed to Ole Miss. He's a 6'3", 215 wide receiver who runs a 10.3 600 meter. He is faster than Philip, the real Flash Wright. This is serious. So he will also be at barbecue at the Big House. And, we talked about previously about the commits who are going to be there. Carter Smith, Brady Hart, those guys, along with an Andrew Marsh, along with Jacob Washington and the other cornerstone players in the class, are going to be working overtime to see if they can get Jerome Myles to start leaning Michigan. This is a major target for Michigan. This is another top 50 type prospect. And this is another recruit where in the past Michigan would not be in the conversation, but now they are, because they are now competitive in the NIL field. And not only that, they're selling the Evolved playbook in early playing time, which will be available at Michigan. So, and on top of that, when you have a quarterback like Brady Hart who's going to be on campus, it's far easier to sell that we have the weapons to make that playbook become a reality. So this is a major target for Michigan. It's going to be all hands on deck. I'd argue, Andrew Marsh and Jerome Myles are going to get a lot of attention this weekend, and we'll see. After the weekend, we'll have updates and intel that leaks and things like that, and we'll figure out what we can, we can get of it. But going into it, I'll say this: the interest between Michigan and Jerome Myles is mutual. He does like Michigan. The biggest hurdle for us with Jerome Myles is going to be proximity to home. So he's from Utah. Our biggest challengers, and Tim's going to like this, it is Utah. So Utah is our biggest challenger, but it's also USC. So USC is another challenger. And then a couple SEC schools are also trying to make their way into the conversation. But one of the reasons why he decommitted from Ole Miss was, one, proximity to home, and two, he wasn't a culture fit. He didn't feel like he fit into the culture. At Michigan, I do feel like he will fit into the culture. And I think we would all agree, especially our viewers, the Ole Miss culture and the Michigan culture are not equal cultures. They're different flavors. So we'll see, man. Hopefully Michigan can knock it out of the park. Looking forward to hearing any updates on that coming out of the weekend. And then our other 2025 target to watch, and this is a big one, especially for B-Dub. B-Dub has been wanting another DB in the class, and here's our opportunity with Jayden Sanders, Jayden Sanders is a 4-star prospect. He's moving up the boards. He's actually a fast riser right now. This is also closing time for Michigan. This kid is looking to make a decision right after the barbecue. He was going to previously make his decision like a week or two before the barbecue. He has now pushed that to after the barbecue at the big house. Michigan they got to close. And this is what I'll say. I have a lock on Jayden Sanders. I feel good about Jayden Sanders. We will see, we'll know very soon after barbecue at the big house if Michigan was able to close. This is decision date. I think I don't know the exact date. I want to say it's August like 4th or 2nd, but I don't know that for sure. I know it's going to be early August, right after the barbecue at the big house. So we'll find out together, how that goes. You got anything on that, John?
Oh, no, okay. I think you covered. I just somebody asked who is this person talking, so I wanted to make sure that your tag was up here because that's TJ, our head recruiting guy. So that's why he knows a thing or two about this. But I will say about Jerome Myles specifically. I understand people are going to say, well, it's easy. It's not that hard to get separation in high school. But do you normally see that type of island level of separation? Because I don't. And I saw that in the film regularly with Jerome Myles. As you said, he's faster than Wright. So that'll do that.
He runs a 10.3 600 meter. Now, for anyone who's like, well, what does that even mean? Anything sub 11 is elite. It's elite. He's running 10.3. Okay, so we're talking extremely elite speed here. And by the time he gets to college, he could very well be in the 10.2s, maybe 10.1. Possibly, maybe in college he'll hit 10.1, which is getting close to Olympic level qualifying speed. So we're talking a serious burner here. Listen, it's one thing to burn kids in high school, which, by the way, if you're burning kids in high school, that means you're ready for the next level. But you got to remember this too. They're going to develop and grow year to year, and they're only going to get faster and stronger. This kid's not slowing down, this kid's serious. He's on the Philip Wright level in terms of just stupid fast. And he's even faster than Philip Wright, and Philip Wright is stupid fast. So, yeah, if we could land a Jerome Myles, and Andrew Marsh, and Jacob Washington, and a Philip Wright, I'll tell you right now, that is a gigantic step in the right direction to evolving the playbook, because those are the type of players who can get you there.
Yeah, just a couple things. First of all, to your last point about Marsh, Myles, Wright, Washington, do you think we could get all of them, or is this kind of an either or kind of situation?
No, I do think we can get all of them. I mean, the biggest hurdle for me, and this is like just me thinking about the dynamic of all the players. Jerome Myles plays the same position as Jacob Wright. So Jerome Myles, so right now, if our class is Jacob Washington, Andrew Marsh, and Philip Wright, we're good because they all play separate positions. Like, so Jacob Washington's an X, Philip Wright's a Y, and Andrew Marsh is a Z type. So there's no issue there. There's no overlapping of positions. But now if you add Andrew Marsh, who'd be Jerome Myles, who'd be a fourth receiver to the class, well, he does play X. Now, here's what's interesting is Jacob Washington's going to be at barbecue at the big house. So if there seems to be a mutual or accepting of roles, or just, if Jacob Washington is recruiting Jerome Myles because they want to be the most dynamic offense in college football, which, listen, you can go 4 wide. No one says you can't, right? So if they want to be an extremely high level, high potent offense, then maybe Jacob Washington's like, look, man, let's do this. We got Brady Hart, we got Carter Smith and Jayden Davis in the pipeline, getting ready to be the next quarterback after whoever is this year, right? So I don't know. We'll have to see if Jacob Washington has any issue with that, but he'd be the one. If there was one who'd have maybe a problem with the addition of a Jerome Myles, it would be, in my opinion, there's no intel here. There is no word that this is the case. I'm just assuming simply because it's the same position. I would think the Jacob Washington recruitment would be the one that would be possibly
overlapping. Yeah,
it'd be overlapping.
Okay. Super interesting stuff here, because that you're hinting at the idea that Michigan could change its identity from a 60+% run team to a more passing team in the future, potentially, right? So
I would say they would still be. So I use the example of the Detroit Lions, an offense that has an aggressive power run game, but has a potent air attack. That is what Michigan wants. They want a potent air attack with a power run game. They want to be balanced at both levels. They want to kill you with both attacks, right? So, because listen, you could try to take the run away, they'll kill you with the air. You want to take away the air, they'll kill you with the run game. Like that, it's really a double-edged sword, and you're not going to be able to defend it. And that's where Michigan, that's an overall complete offense is what that is. And Michigan is striving to do it. You can see it not only with their words. They're telling these recruits they're looking to evolve the playbook. They are literally telling the recruits, we want to open up the passing game. And you can also see it with the types of players we're getting. Andrew Olish, Brady Hart, Jacob Washington, Phillip Wright. These kids are burners. These are high athletic players. Andrew Marsh is no different, nor is Jerome Myles.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic news. I was listening to a different podcast from Notre Dame, and they were, or the host there was kind of lamenting not being able to get wide receivers, and kind of speculating that, oh, we're in the North, we can't get wide receivers or something to that effect. I might be paraphrasing a little bit. I don't see that at all. I mean, Michigan has had great wide receivers in the past. The composition of the team, might not be conducive to that, in terms of the way they won last year, 100%, but that does not mean that the next couple years could be different, right? They definitely could. So Alabama actually went from a very high passing ratio to a more running ratio last year, to suit the talent that they had on the field, right? So
speaking of Alabama initially was a power run offense, and then they evolved into a heavy passing air attack. So, and then they have now gone to more of a more run heavy offense recently with Jalen Milroe. But I mean, listen, Michigan can make the same evolution, and I guarantee, I'm gonna tell you right now, Kirk Campbell and Jerome want to be a more balanced, potent air attack offense. They want that dual. That dual threat offense that defenses literally cannot shut down.
So YouTube member Keegan is saying what we said on the Georgia Standard clip that you can watch. Yeah. You would evolve into what Georgia is, and nobody's asking Michigan to turn into an air raid. No one's asking Michigan to turn into Ohio State even. But to get to like a 47% pass percent, or at least a little higher, and just make it a little more balanced, it seems like that evolution is going to take a year or two. But you can see that with the recruiting, that's the intention.
Yeah, no, the intention is without question to be more aggressive through the air. The playmakers they are getting are even last class with Brady Prescorn. You're getting high level athletic weapons to evolve the offense. It's what you're getting. So, and then you see it with the quarterbacks. Listen, we're going to talk about this in the future targets. The quarterbacks that we're hitting on right now, and we know, Carter Smith's mechanics and all of that, but Brady Hart's no joke. Like, this kid's going to be a 5-star talent. He's Trevor Lawrence Jr. And like, we now coined that because we said it before Clemson did, and Clemson gave Brady Hart the same pitch when he went on their visit. They said they see him as the next Trevor Lawrence of the program. We said that before his visit was with Clemson. So, I mean, there's no question that Michigan is looking to take it to the next level.
Yeah, it's true. And so a couple of YouTube member. So we're officially at the point, believe it or not, folks, where we're at the 30-day mark for people, which means you can do a special post without needing to super chat. If you've been a member for a month, you can do a highlighted member post every month. So the Bull just did his, and he heard that DJ Sanders won't make it to the barbecue due to family vacation. Maybe we move on.
Yeah, no. So no, he's not going to make it to the barbecue, but the goal is to have him visit for the Texas game. So DJ Sanders is defensive tackle position. He's our only target right now on the board for defensive line. Major player, major target. He's from Texas. Right now, Texas is probably the leader. So if you're going to have him come for a game, it's when he comes to the big house and Michigan beats Texas. So that's going to be the game to watch. They're definitely going to try and have him come up for that. That seems to be the target, and we'll see from there. I mean, listen, they're not going to move on because here's why. We have 16 commits in the class. There's about 8 to 9 spots even open. So listen, their resources are not being wasted trying to get this kid. And plus, let's also look at our defensive line. It's already a high-level defensive line with Nate Marshall, Jalen Williams, Bobby Kanka, and Julius Holly. So they're already all in the fold. It doesn't hurt to try and land one more elite talent.
Absolutely. And we do have one more super chat before we get back to the 2026 targets at the barbecue. But Justin dropped a 2 for us. Thank you. So who does Utah have at quarterback after Cam Rising? So there's Cam Rising, there's Brandon Rose, there's Isaac Wilson, but now there's also transfer Sam Horde, or I don't know how you pronounce that last name, but he was a Washington quarterback previously, and he decided to transfer to Utah. So,
John, your ability to know the depth chart of Utah is just amazing. I just want to say that.
Listen, here's the thing about Utah. They're not an aggressive air attack. So, like, there's an opportunity here, man. Like, there's a real opportunity for Michigan to make a move, in my opinion. And I really think Michigan, if they hit it out of the park this weekend, I think Michigan can make a serious run for Jerome Myles. I really do.
Absolutely. So it's not just 2025 targets going to the barbecue. There are some major, and I'm talking about elite talents coming from 2026 and 27. So Savion Hitter especially, oh my God, this player, if you haven't watched the film, we're about to show it, but you want to talk about just if you know the superhero The Flash, that's this guy.
Another Flash. How many Flashes could be on Michigan's roster? If we get Jerome, Myles, Philip Wright, and Savion Hitter, oh my God. Yeah. So all right. So listen, I've told you guys, anyone who's watched our show for the last few months, I've told you, 2025 class is going to be a good class. We're hoping to get it top 10. That's the target. Top 12, top 10. That's the target. But the 26 class, Michigan's going for it, and they're gonna swing for the fences. And there is rumblings that they want a top 5 class. We'll see what they can do. This is one of the top targets for the 26 class. Savion Hitter, Brady Hart is going to be, without question, and I know this, building his relationship with him and trying to get him. Trying to get him into the class. Michigan it already has in a good position with Savion Hitter. Tony Alford has built a relationship with him since his days back with Ohio State. So what's happening now is these coaching staffs are now able to build these relationships that are going to be more than a year and really take our recruiting class to the next level. And this is a name to know. We will only bring you names to know at this channel. And this is the one for 2027 that I recommend at least remembering, because we will be talking about him in the future. This is one of the top targets for the running back position. This is your RB1, and we'll see what they can do. I'm looking forward to hearing, what comes out of the weekend and what type of move Michigan has made for Savion Hitter.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of like the way you're describing it, the analogy or metaphor I'd use is sort of like Sharon Moore's got, he just got the job and he's doing all these things and he's a CEO. So he kind of, I'm hungry now. And we talked about the barbecue. So he sort of has like a food truck now, but he wants to have that restaurant next year. So if he can get in the top 10 or pretty close to it with just the food truck recruiting this year, he's going to have that top restaurant next year. I can see this progression that way. Right. So.
Yeah, and I think Michigan I'm telling you, I really think Michigan is going to have a hell of a 26 class. When you have your quarterback already in the fold like Brady Hart, when you have that cornerstone player, and he's coming up to recruit this weekend, when you have that, it makes it a lot easier, and we're coming off a national title. The NIL game is strong. And the 25 class is looking very promising. So Michigan is in a good place. Now they just got to keep going and keep hitting on these targets. And we're going to talk about the next target, John, who is CJ Sadler, wide receiver out of Cass Tech, Detroit, Michigan.
Absolutely. Before we do, though, I just want to point out that they're using him in this film in the deep receiving game at various points.
He's a duo.
And we're talking like, Donovan Edwards receiving ability in high school. Like, I mean, it's legit. And pair that with the ability to be probably an RB1 and take those reps too.
Yeah, no, this kid, listen, we got Donovan Edwards elite, Blake Corum elite, Jordan Marshall elite. This is an elite player. This is your next running back. If he comes to Michigan, stay tuned because he's coming after Jordan Marshall.
Look out, folks. So I know you wanted to talk about CJ Sadler, who's also coming.
This is another name we must know, and anyone who's followed recruiting already does know this kid's name. He's been on our radar for about 2 years now. This is a major elite talent. He's not the tallest wide receiver. He's about 5'11", but it doesn't matter. We are looking at a dynamic playmaker who is on Michigan's radar, and the good news is Michigan's in a great position for CJ Sadler. He's also coming up for barbecue at the Big House, and I'm going to tell you this falls in line with evolving the playbook and getting these types of playmakers who can do a lot with the ball. As you can see, this kid is a human joystick. He's faster than everybody. He is going to be the type of player who may end up a 5-star by the end of the the recruiting evaluations. If he's not a 5-star, he's going to be a borderline 5-star. He is a top 100 player already. So we're looking at an extremely elite talent here. And I'm going to tell you, I know for a fact Brady Hart's going to be working very hard on trying to also build a relationship with CJ Sadler this weekend.
Yeah, really, really great player there. And yeah, I think the relationships that are going to be cultivated at barbecue at the Big House, or continued, including with each other, like the other players and the quarterbacks. You mentioned Brady Hart. I mean, my God, like those, I could just imagine those two connecting with each other. So somebody who I mean, Mark Rogers, voice of college football, and I talked about was Owen Wafel, transferring to, switching over to Michigan from Notre Dame. And now we've got his younger brother, Luke Wafel, who's switching over.
Yeah, Luke Wafel, who is the younger brother of Owen Wafel. This is another top target for Michigan. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, this kid is already a 4-star in the 26 class. And listen, in my opinion, he's a must get because he's going to be a legacy. And he's an elite talent. This is the type of player you want in your class for the defensive line. And I feel very confident Lou Esposito is going to be able to build that relationship. And listen, it doesn't hurt to have your brother attend the university. That helps Michigan major. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes out of this weekend, what type of movement Michigan makes. I do expect, though, a lot of times when you have a younger brother of either a player at Michigan or a kid who's currently committed to Michigan, whatever, typically they want to take their time a little bit and do the process, go through the process and see what they like. But at the end of the day, I feel like Michigan's in a great position, and I do think Michigan should be able to close and land Luke Wafel. I don't have any intel on it. This is pure assumption at this point, but I feel like we're in a great spot to get him, and he'd be a hell of an addition to the class.
And of course, Keegan coming through with the Waffle House NIL. Yeah, I thought it was waffle at first, and then everybody in the comments are like, no, you're it's not that, because I had all kinds of things ready to go for that for that announcement, but apparently it's waffle. So thanks for that, Keegan. Any other thoughts on Ferris? You got any thoughts on Luke?
I mean, this list is so huge. I mean, what was it like a year ago? Let's try to comprehend both in quality and quantity. TJ, do you remember how?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know the total amount from last year's barbecue at the big house, but like this is going to be over 60 visitors. It's just major. And we're only skimming the surface. There's a lot, like this isn't, just so everyone knows, this is not all the elite talent that's coming. It's just the players I feel like Michigan is best positioned for. And the players who right now, I'd say Michigan has the most leverage with right now. There are other talents coming in who are very similar or near the same level. And this weekend's going to be major. And listen, Michigan's going to make moves with those too. And anything that comes out of the weekend, we're definitely going to have for all of you.
There's so much info. I mean, the other thing is, do not underestimate, listeners, the importance of Brady Hart. That's what I'm learning here. That having that anchor at the barbecue at the big house, he's the one who's going to be there when others in his class are considering going to Michigan. And if he had not committed, then the dynamic is totally different.
It makes it harder. It makes it a lot easier to sell when you have a quarterback heading a class. These kids know who they're going to play with. They know who they're going to play for. And they know who they're going to go into battle with on Saturdays. It's major. It's just like when we had JJ, when he committed early to Michigan, he was able to get that class during 2020, during the down year for Michigan. He was able to keep that class together, and that class won a national championship.
So the vision, of course, to become a little bit more focused on the air attack, at least slightly. These two are going to be pretty important, right? George Patrick and Jack Janda. How about those? So what made you think of putting those on the list?
So George Patrick, John, you're going to love this. Okay. Well, he's a top 100 offensive lineman, but he is our favorite of all favorite type of offensive lineman, an MSU legacy. This is another MSU legacy. Yep. This will be our third one in the last year. Right. So this is another MSU legacy, and Michigan's in a great spot for him because we all know Michigan State doesn't look to be competitive for a while. So we'll take all of your legacies who are top talents. We have no problem with that. We appreciate all the top players that Michigan State can give us. We'll take those. But yeah, so George Patrick, Gregory Patrick. He's an elite level offensive lineman already. He's a top 100 player. He's a big body offensive lineman. He's a molar. So we'll see what Michigan can do there. I mean, from my understanding, Michigan's in a good position already. And for him coming up to barbecue at the big house, it's another opportunity for Grant Newsome to really build that relationship. And listen, Brady Hart will also be connecting with the offensive line because you're nothing without your offensive line. And I fully expect to hear positive intel out of the weekend with Gregory Patrick as well. We'll see what comes of it, but it's another player to know, and we will keep our eyes on that one. And then lastly, Jack Janda. The reason why I have Jack Janda here is because if there's a player close to committing right now from the 26 class, it's Jack Janda. Jack Janda has visited Michigan so many times that there's no point in even counting. He is a heavy Michigan lean as we speak, and Michigan's looking to take 2 tight ends. So they're looking to take potentially Jack Janda if he commits to Michigan, and another elite like an Andrew Olish or a Brady Prescorn type tight end. So they're going to try and land like one of those elite top of the line talents along with a Jack Janda. So we're going to look for the 26 class to have a 2 tight end class, and he's just another name to know because it's looking very encouraging in terms of a future commit by Jack Janda. And then anything on that before we hit on 27 targets, guys?
Yeah, let's go to 27.
All right, 27. Now, all right, look. We all know I am not a fan of going this far into recruiting, but we might as well because Michigan is crushing in recruiting, and our 25 class is already like 70% full. So we're going to move on, and because we have some major talents coming in for 27, and Michigan is already starting to narrow its board in certain areas. And one of those, and this is a very key one, and we've mentioned his name before, and that's QB1 for 2027, Trey Taylor. All right, he has already been on campus over 10 times, guys. 10 times. He is an elite talent. He's considered a possible 5-star. Yeah, this is a serious. So Michigan's looking to already land their next quarterback for 2027. This is a name to know. I'm not locking anything in. I'm not guaranteeing anything. But what I am saying is we're in a good spot, and it's trending very well. So we'll keep our eyes on Trey Taylor. And I'll tell you guys, if we can land Trey Taylor after Brady Hart, Michigan's quarterback room just looks better and better, to be honest with you. And then the next name we'll hit on is Holden Niemi. So this kid is an elite talent. This kid is on the level of an Andrew Olish in terms of just elite athleticism. They're going after him very aggressively. This is a name to know right now. This is their top tight end target from my understanding. So we'll see what they can do with that. And then Dakota Garant. The reason why we are highlighting him is, one, this is a 5-star caliber player. This is another wide receiver who's big time. This is the type of wide receiver who helps you expand a playbook. And what also makes this very, very unique is he is the cousin of Jacob Oden, who is currently on Michigan's roster, safety for Michigan. He committed last year's class. And he has been on record saying Dakota Garant is not going anywhere but Michigan. So we'll see if that's true. We hope it is true because we're talking about an elite talent here. And here's what I do know. Jacob Oden is damn loyal. He's a diehard. He was a heavy recruiter for Michigan. His dad is I don't know if he's still coaching high school ball or not, but his dad is also a heavy recruiter for Michigan. I fully expect Jacob Oden and his father to do a full court press on Dakota Garant. And it doesn't hurt to have Trey Taylor and Brady Hart there to help persuade or pitch Michigan in the future offense that Michigan will be showcasing on Saturdays. So get to know that name because that is the name we will definitely be covering in months to years ahead. So stay tuned to that one. And then the last one, John, I added another one that's not on our list. And the reason why I added this one is because we have a family affair here, guys. We got Luke Wafel's brother. We got Jacob Oden's cousin. And then we also have Julius Holly's younger brother, Jackson Holly, who's an edge. This is also a high-level player in the 27 class. And Michigan's looking to build the relationship, not only with Julius Holly, who will also be at Barbecue at the Big House, but with Jackson Holly. So, again, a major weekend for not only 2026, it is a major weekend for 2026. It's a big weekend for 2025, so we can close on some commits. 2026, it's a major weekend for the foundation and the future of the class, but they also have their eyes on 2027. And we will, as always, have the most up-to-date intel we possibly can have on all of these guys in the coming weeks.
I mean, you may have noticed we go into a lot. I mean, TJ, the level of detail that TJ goes into, the amount of research he does, and then he shares it with us, and in a easy to understand way. It is just a different level of information that you can get from any other source. I'll just put it that way, right?
And on top of that, we bring you the most accurate intel we possibly can, because and I'll give a little pat on the back. We told you Derek Meadows was going to LSU last week, and there was other there were other people in the industry saying Notre Dame. I'm just trying to let you know, listen, I'm not always right, but we do have a high average here. So we do our best to give you guys the most accurate intel we possibly can give you. And we're definitely here to bring you the best, to our ability, recruiting perspective we possibly can give you.
Yeah, we were pushing LSU hard on that one because I didn't. Yeah, Notre Dame, just to me, it just didn't seem like the right fit. It didn't seem like, from a schematic perspective, like, imagine you could be catching a ball from Bryce Underwood. Right. So
that was a big sell. That and NIL. I mean, listen, he was going to commit to LSU that Friday, and then Michigan made him think about it. And Michigan made a major move, which we had for you. We had that for you. We had the update on that. And then I told you on Tuesday's show, if I had to make a pick, it'd be LSU. I reached out to my guy, and he told me LSU. And my guy's been on it, dude. So I'm going to, I trust him. He's only steered me wrong once. So, I'm going to keep going to that well as long as I can. So, shout out to that. Shout out to him. And hey, good luck to Derek Meadows. We're going to keep, hopefully we get Jerome, Myles, and Andrew Marsh. And at the end of the day, we'll be like, who's Derek Meadows? I don't even know.
We got a couple of super chats and member comments. So Cody Mumford just re-upped $5 as well with the super chat. I just want to say I love the show. Thanks for making Michigan info so easy to access. Go Blue. Go Blue, Cody.
Yeah, shout out to you, Cody. You said you let your membership expire, man. That's not cool. I'm just kidding. No, it is cool. He's supposed not to give him a shout out. Shout out to Cody Mumford for becoming a member. And thank you for your super chat, man. It's greatly appreciated.
And it was able to stick so that he could still do the 30-day plus member comment. So that's great. If next season goes well, I expect a top 5 class. The moment we have now in recruiting another 9 or 10 win season and more in his first year will show kids Michigan isn't going away anytime soon.
I agree. If Michigan can make the playoffs this year, Jesus. I mean, with the and not only that, like we all saw, like I don't know if anyone's paid attention. They just did another NIL event with the golf outing. JJ McCarthy donated some memorabilia from his from a Vikings jersey autographed. Jim Harbaugh is donating. We have such a good foundation right now for NIL and a good structure in place where we are now competitive. We can go after Jerome, Myles, and Andrew Marsh and Derek Meadows and listen, we have the most top 100 committed players we've had in the last 2 years in one cycle. Michigan's really doing it. And, shout out to Cheryl Moore for getting the program in the right direction. And shout out to Michigan for getting finally unified. There are still places out there where they don't understand the reality or the dynamic of Michigan's administration, athletic director, and coaching and NIL collectives. And there's like people are still they're still lost. It's because they're not watching us. But regardless, listen, the results are showing. We've been on point all the way. And listen, shout out to Michigan for getting everything aligned and being able to be effective on the recruiting trail. And I do agree, Cody. I think a top 5 class, it's early. But getting Brady Hart and then going after the targets they're going after, CJ Sadler, Savion Hitter, these are major top 100 players. We'll see what they can do with it.
Absolutely true. We have some more. We've got Justin, $2. Thank you again for us always being here, Justin, and for contributing. We really appreciate that. Let's land Luke Wafel. Let the brothers run the DL.
Absolutely. How sick would that be? How cool! I love when the Glasgows were here. That was cool. I love seeing that family connection, especially if they can both be at a high level. Which, by the way, Owen's a dog. Right. And Luke's a great player, too. I look forward to breaking down his huddle tape at some point in the future.
And we do have DMD with a 10. Great job, boys. Y'all have really done a great job turning this channel into a must-watch for Michigan football fans. Go Blue. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, D&D. Greatly appreciated. We are doing our best to build this channel to the best of our ability and also just taking it to the next level. And there's more to come, man. We have a lot of things on the horizon. Andrew Marsh will not be the last recruit interview we'll do or commit interview we will do. We got things in the pipelines we're going to be working on. We have some other interviews in the pipeline. We have one on the back burner right now that we're looking to launch in the future. We'll see what we can do with that. And yeah, man, we're just going to keep going, keep climbing the mountain. And thank you for your super chat. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and I just want to remind everyone, it is July 23rd. I mean, I've said this for a couple of weeks. It is supposed to be the dog days of summer, waiting for the season, which is still weeks away. And we are just, I mean, the amount of information, the amount of interaction is just shooting up. I just remember, back in the day, we hit 7,000 subscribers and now we're about to hit 8, right? So, and it wasn't back in the day. It was just, it feels like just a couple weeks ago, whatever, right? So,
it was like 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
It's coming along. So here's my question to everybody in chat. Who's going to be our 49th and who's going to be our 50th member? Because we are so close now to the big 50 members. If you see all the badges and the green names in chat, that's because all those people are YouTube members. So I'm posting the link right here. At the very least, click the link and take a look at the 3 tiers. because even at $2.99, you get the badge, you get the emojis, and we've made quite a few emojis now that you can use, and I believe we even have a new spot that we need to add another one. So, so we'll add those for you. Once we get past tribal council and on Survivor and we figure out what the 2 will be, then we'll add those in. But that's $2.99. At $4.99, that's when you get to the those who stay will be champions. I am going to be posting soon the poll this week. I'm going to do it this week so that people can vote on when they can make the hangout. Which is going to be on Teams this time because we need a hand raise feature because they're going to be like a crap load of members in there. So it'll be a different format this time, but I'll be posting the doodle so everyone can vote on the time that they can do at the $4.99 and up level. And then, of course, we do have the Connor Stallions espionage tier at $9.99. So any of that is possible.
And at that tier, we have secret meetings with Connor Stallions himself on how we can make Michigan the greatest program in the world. Top secret, high level meetings. So if you know, you know. So if you
look at TJ's bookshelf right there, the manifesto is on that second shelf. So we will share pages of the manifesto.
But you're not supposed to tell. See, you weren't supposed to tell anyone because now I'm gonna have Ohio State fans trying to get it.
Well, Ohio State fans, you're welcome to join at the Connor Stallions espionage level.
Yeah, we may give you some intel. We'll think about it.
It looks like Ferris, the other Ferris, got gifted the membership. So so thanks to Detective Loki for gifting that, so that we another one of our community members can stay a member. So that means a lot to us. And we have 2 more super chats, and then we'll get back to content. Cody, I really need to proofread before I hit send. I don't even remember. Yeah, I don't even remember what it was, but
I misspell. I'm fat figuring all the time in my text messages.
Justin, John, and TJ, and I'm going to ask Ferris too because I think you've also got the game now. But how are we all doing in college football 25?
So I'm struggling in recruiting right now. So I'm a head coach at Arkansas State, trying to build a 1-star program. And if anyone knows how that works in NCAA for Dynasty, you only get 350 hours a week to spread out amongst your recruits. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a pain. I got 1 4-star and 1 3-star. I have 2 commits, and I'm at like week 8. I'm in a good position on a lot of guys. The team's playing strong. I got the boys going, but it's a lot of work, and I'm struggling with the recruiting right now. I'm trying to build it up. Game sweet though. Hey, kicking is a bitch though, dude. Oh my god, I can't kick.
Kicking, I think we can all
kicking is hard.
Yeah, I'm in the Michigan Fieldhouse. I'm trying to get Alex Orgy to get his percentage up. I'm working on the drills. I highly recommend all the drills there. I am working on getting him to scramble left, spin around, and be accurate passing. If anybody knows the game, you can do like little targets that come up, and you can kind of smash the targets and things like that. It's really cool that you can do these little mini games to try to see what are the abilities of the players, at least in the game.
Is this in Dynasty, or is this a mode before Dynasty?
It's like a mode before you kind of get so
Dynasty. I'm missing out, man. What the hell?
Yeah. So for Orgy, because that's something I used to love about JJ, like his ability to scramble either right or left, and be able to throw the ball when people are thinking that he's going to run. So they've got a drill that you can kind of do where you roll left, you can't scramble, you get a penalty if you scramble, in this drill, and then you have to kind of time it and get the receiver in the end zone from around kind of in the red zone, about 15 yards out, 20 yards out, things like that. So that's what I'm doing. I had a long path to get the game. I went to Target and got $10 gift cards, which I had in point. I had to kind of convert. I had points from my company, kind of like rewards points. And I was like, whoa, I can use these in Target. So I did wait until the game came through the regular release. TJ, I think you did the same, right? So
Yeah, I'm not spending
the early release, right?
It's like 5 days early. That's just not. That's not for me.
Yeah, I love the game. I think the one question I have is music. I didn't see if Mr. Brightside is. I don't think it's there.
It's
right?
not.
It's not in the game, right? Okay,
No.
yeah. Okay,
the music is repetitive as shit in the stadium.
Yeah,
So,
it's repetitive, and they keep going to the like the Michigan seal, the emblem that's kind of on the first row of the stadium.
When you play Michigan,
sort of zooming. Yeah, when you're playing Michigan, it does get a lot repetitive. Some of the scenes get a little repetitive. So,
so I got the game went as early as I could, and because I mean I've been playing NCAA 14 with the new rosters for so long. So I got it, and so I am currently in Road to Glory as a quarterback. I spent some time at Michigan. I spent some time at UMass to hang out with Don Brown, and I went 11-1, and then won the bowl game, so 12-1, and went to the Washington Huskies for a bit because. I love dogs, love that, and was able to start pretty quickly at Washington. I'm going everywhere.
I'm chasing that damn McDonald's bag, bro.
I'm chasing the McDonald's bag. Absolutely. Well, this is my second season at Washington, though. I did do a second, so we're undefeated. Now. We're undefeated right now, so we'll see how it goes.
They must be paying good, huh? Getting you to stay.
Absolutely.
Those who stay
Absolutely. Fun? McDonald, but I have been enjoying playing at Michigan too, and Donovan Edwards and Colston Loveland especially. Like those two are basically a cheat code. Colston Loveland is so easy to throw to, even in Heisman mode. He gets open, and like that's a tip. That is a tip. If you're on Heisman mode, you could still. Even though it seems impossible to throw to people, you could still call tight end plays and throw to Colston Loveland, and he will catch the ball, even in Heisman mode. So,
forever.
forever.
You got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's a long one. We also, of course, had an exclusive interview with Andrew Marsh. So we're doing an extra long show today for our community. Yeah. So we had a USA Today preseason poll that came out, folks, and it does seem like in terms of predicted order of finish that Ohio State with 8 first place votes is number 1. Oregon with 5 first place votes is number 2 in order of finish, and then Michigan and Penn State are tied. Guys, when will they ever learn? This happens every single year, and they still just haven't learned from their mistakes. But here it is. We're back again. Michigan and Penn State tied for 3rd. TJ, what say you on this?
Well, I don't get why. I mean, I guess I get it because there's QB uncertainty and a new head coach, and they think. But listen, James Franklin can't win the big games. Drew Aller is a poor. He's not. I don't like Drew. I'm not a big fan of Drew Aller. I'm not afraid of Drew Aller. I think Drew Aller can't handle big games, big moments. I think he has happy feet. I think he has a hard time reading the field. I don't fully understand. I think Penn State should be behind us. I can understand why you'd have Ohio State where you have them because they're arguably the most talented team going into the season. Oregon is no joke. We know they're talented. I'm fine with being 3rd, coming off a national title, given the QB uncertainty and new head coach dynamic. But I do not think we are on the same level as Penn State. And I also think USC is a little too high.
Yeah, if I'm looking at that, I guess what I'll say is I believe that, I mean, the way that I see it right now, I believe Michigan will beat Oregon. Oregon will beat OSU. And Michigan, unfortunately, is going to lose to OSU. So all 3 of those
are teams. Opinions that do not reflect the rest of the.
Well, I'm just doing it from a kind of numeric. It's not my opinion. It's not my heart. It's my head, right? So 1-1. So those 3 teams will go 1-1 against the other 2. Okay. Then you've got Penn State, and if Penn State and Michigan had flip-flopped their schedules, Michigan would be in a better position, perhaps. But so they don't have to play each other. So Penn State does get like a little bit of an advantage with respect to that. Penn State, I believe, has a home game against Ohio State. This needs to be the year if they're going to beat Ohio State. They need to do it this year, right? So I can kind of understand Penn State. I don't understand Rutgers at number 10. I don't think people are looking. I don't think people are looking at Rutgers' schedule. I think Rutgers does not have to play the number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4 teams according to this list in the Big Ten.
Bump that up, man.
So if you're I don't bet on things I can't control. But what I will say is the over-under for Rutgers is way low, in my opinion. And also being ranked number 10 in the Big Ten does not make sense to me, just purely from the standpoint of how much of a schedule benefit they get. So I'll kind of say that. So I think there's going to be a logjam at the top of the Big Ten. And their tiebreakers are going to come into play either for the champion of the the number 1 seed in the Big Ten or the number 2 seed, maybe both.
So I go back and forth on this, because on the one hand, I think this is great from the perspective of giving bulletin board material. It's great for the perspective of, okay, underdog mentality, even though Michigan just won a title. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking, okay, when is Michigan going to start getting the benefit of the doubt a little more on these things? And maybe it's a second straight title that Michigan has to win before they start getting the benefit of the doubt a little bit more. Maybe you got to go back to back on natties in order to make the top 2. But it just strikes me as kind of tough when.
Yeah, consider this. What if Michigan? I'm fully thinking Michigan's going to be number 10, maybe number 12 to begin the season, because you see this USA Today poll. There was also the Cleveland.com poll that had them outright number 4, not tied at number 3.
I think they'll be like 7.
Okay, so I'm figuring number 11-ish, somewhere in there. And then what happens if they beat Texas? They're the defending national champion, and they beat Texas. I would not be surprised, because of the lack of respect for Michigan, if they end up like number 2 instead of number 1 after that happens. Right? So
possibly under Georgia.
Yeah. So but why Georgia? Michigan defending champion. Michigan beats Texas. They should be number 1, right? So I mean, it seems logical to me. So and then with respect to Alex Orji, I do think that is a huge factor. The fact that there's such a question mark at quarterback. So I believe that Alex Orji can in fact complete a forward pass. So that's my line that I need to make into a T-shirt. But
yes.
But if he can't, he's not going to be the quarterback for the Texas game. They're going to win the Fresno State game. Don't worry about that. He's not going to be the quarterback for the Texas game if there's a problem with his audition. So they're going to have a competent quarterback. They have a deep room. I know we're going to talk about it in a few minutes, but they have a deep room. So I don't understand the logic of, okay, Orji can't complete passes, so therefore we need to knock Michigan down a couple rungs, because he's not going to be playing quarterback if that happens, right? So,
yeah, I mean, listen, I think we all agree that the uncertainty at quarterback is the reason why Michigan's getting, put 3rd or tied for 3rd, or possibly is going to be ranked. Hopefully not 11. I think they'll be top 10 for sure. I do think around 7 or 8. But anyways, look, we have uncertainty at the quarterback situation. We did lose a lot in the draft, although we are returning a lot. We all agree our defense could be better than it was last year. Our offense has weapons, and the offensive line looks to be in a good position. But at the end of the day, it's Jerome Moore's first year. So there is that uncertainty, even though we did get to see 4 games last year, which he won them all and made very adept decisions in game to win us games, like the Penn State game that really sticks out, and also in the Maryland game, he made some great decisions. So, yeah, I mean, look, we have a new coach, new quarterback, and then that's just what the media is going to do. Ferris,
Yeah, John.
don't do that. I got Ferris. I got one for you. I got the.
Oh, you got a new one. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Let's go.
don't
Oh,
do that.
wait. Okay. I see a lot of Ohio State fans basking in the glory of being number one 2024 offseason champions. So when ready, share it. So go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're everybody here and everybody in chat is basically saying the same thing. There is a question mark at quarterback. It's the first time there's been a question mark at quarterback in a little bit. And here it is. Oh man. Oh,
there you go.
Man.
You have upgraded it. Thank you.
Okay.
Origami OSU off-season paper champ 2024 off-season paper champions. They do have a dusty trophy case. Nothing's been in it for a little while. So I am happy to make one of these. It'll be shipped to you though, actually, Ohio State fans, in a regular envelope. And I'll send you the instructions of how to do the origami to put them together. If OSU fans, if you could choose the one you like, do you like the one on the left, which looks more like a diamond or something like that? Or do you like the one on the right, like a gem or diamond, or the one on the right, which does have the football with the O? So either one, just let me know. I will send you the instructions. And like I said, it'll just be shipped in a paper, just a regular, package kind of envelope, and then you'll just have to put it together.
And because we know your money goes to NIL, we will give you free shipping and handling at no cost to you. So we got you. We appreciate you, Ohio State.
I'm just for fun. We're gonna put in the. I want to see everybody's preference here. So in the poll, feel free to vote on which of the trophies you like better. And meanwhile, we do have a 99-cent super sticker by Blue Wolverine. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. Oh, and I missed a super chat too. My bad. James Franklin will always pee down his leg. Thank you, Cody, for the $2. And yeah, I mean,
James Franklin doesn't win the big.
He doesn't have to play Michigan this year. He got out of that. He escaped that one, but he still has to face OSU.
Absolutely. So there we go. We got that in the barrel, ready to unload whenever those Ohio State fans want to get out.
Yes, thank you, TJ, and thanks for upgrading it. I appreciate all the upgrades.
Hey, and just so you know, Ohio State fans, we got more where that comes from. We got some other stuff waiting down the pipe whenever things become public.
There it is. It does look like the left one is preferred by 54%. Of the audience who, so far. So they like the left one a little bit more. Well, so we've talked a lot about quarterbacks, so we might as well go straight into it. So we are starting our Voice of College Football Michigan fall preview series. And so you will start to see these show up in the playlist because we have a specific playlist for position breakdowns. So if you want to skip everything else and you want to fall asleep to position breakdowns, you can do that if you want to. But we have the fall position preview. If you're on a road trip, you can listen into those. But we have the position preview, and this is just my list. So these two may have a slightly different order of things. But I do have as QB1 Alex Orji. It's a lot of reasons. But if you've watched the episodes of Michigan Made, they sprinkle in a little bit here and there, whether it's referring to Alex Orji as one of the go-to leaders of the team and not mentioning any of the others, but mentioning Alex Orji alongside Donovan Edwards and others as leaders to listen to. You've seen Alex Orji set up in practice, handing off to Donovan Edwards. Again, it's not concrete. Nobody's come out and said Alex Orji's the starter, but there are little bits and pieces here and there that kind of, if you watch it all, if you pay really, really close attention, it does look like Alex Orji might be winning this job. But I'll let TJ kind of give your thought on who you think QB1 should be.
Yeah, so I think our community, and I know we got a lot of new viewers. We gained a lot of subscribers recently. Alex Orji is who I do think will be QB1. I think. Listen, I know they're saying it's a camp battle, and I'm sure it is. They're not going to hand it to anybody. Jack Tuttle will be battling. Davis Warren will be battling, but I think we can all see there does seem to be an emphasis or a focus on Alex Orji. That's not. Listen, you see it in the videos. You see it in the way the coaches talk at times. It just seems to be that way. I think Alex Orji also knows it's his opportunity to lose. So I expect Alex Orji to be the day one starter. We saw him last year playing games in key moments. So he does have some experience in major games. So we'll see, we'll see out of fall camp. We'll obviously be on top of it all camp in the QB battle. But if I had to call it today, I'd say Alex Orji. That's where I'm at with it. What do you think, Bears?
All right, I'm going to surprise both of you for a second. All right.
Jack Tuttle.
There will be a 2-quarterback system.
Boom.
For game one. For game one.
Right.
Just for game one.
Bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
for game one, I'm going to predict that both Alex Orji and I'm going to go with Davis Warren. I'm not gonna go with Tuttle. I know. Okay, so I don't know who that second quarterback is. I'm not as confident in that. But I do think 2 quarterbacks will get significant playing time in game one. That will be used to as a bit of an audition, but also maybe to confuse Texas in game 2. This is just purely speculation, but I do believe in Alex Orji as the long-term quarterback for Michigan, as the starter this year.
Yeah, so Keith, the leader and chairman of the Jack Tuttle fan club, says Isaiah Hole had another deep insider saying that it's going to be Tuttle, right? Get ready. Hey, I'm not ready, but if it happens, I hope for the best, and I will root for him. I'm not gonna, obviously, listen. Whoever can win us games, I'm all in. It's just personally, I'm not. I'm concerned with our ceiling.
Yes.
People know my position on this.
Yeah, and so in terms of the ceiling, let's kind of talk about that, because the ceiling is Michigan played the ceiling last year, and that is Milroe, right? And
Sure.
2023 Milroe is the ceiling. I mean, if I don't expect more than that, but if Alex Orji can be at 80% of what Jalen Milroe was last year, if he can keep the turnovers down, if he can keep the penalties down on offense, if I think one important thing is this year, unlike maybe last year, there may be a third and whatever. And maybe we run. I mean, I know we ran a lot last year on third down and long, but maybe we just go ahead and accept that. Hey, once in a while we're going to have to punt because our defense is kind of like an offense. It's going to be so good. Let's not make mistakes. Let's be very smart with the football. Let's not have fumbles. Let's not have penalties. If Alex Orji can keep all of that in check, I believe that is more important than the stat that we've been talking about, the 62% completion percentage as kind of like a magic number. So that's what I would do. I would put Alex Orji in there, and I'd say, hey, don't do anything crazy. You could throw the ball long. Try doing that a couple times, but don't do anything crazy in critical moments. And give the ball to the defense, because chances are it'll sort of be like an offense. I mean, I guess the best comp here would be like the 1985 Bears or something like that, where that team was so defensive that the defense was like an offense.
I mean, you could also say the Ravens with Joe Flacco.
Yeah, that's another one. Yep, another good example.
Or Brad Johnson's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I mean, my concern is if we don't have an Alex Orji or a Davis Warren, who I think are higher upside quarterbacks than a Jack Tuttle. My concern is if we do have a Jack Tuttle, and I know Keith's probably like TJ, but we run into a Cade McNamara situation where you're going to run into a Georgia, or you're going to run into an elite program at that level, and you can't get over the hump because you need a more potent offense to make plays. Because your defense is not going to carry you the whole year. That's very rare. There's going to be a moment where your offense has to bail you out. So we'll see. I mean, listen, these are my concerns. I hope to be dead wrong. And if Jack Tuttle is the starter, I hope he wins the Heisman. I do not dislike that Jack Tuttle. I just have my concerns with that option.
Yeah. I part of me, I've said this before, but part of me is kind of intrigued by the idea of Jack Tuttle beating Ohio State.
Well, yeah, that'd be funny.
as a guy who's almost as old as Sharon Moore himself.
Well, dude, that's be the built-in excuse. They have a 7-year quarterback. That's why they won. You already know.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, they got their next excuse.
All right. So that was your quarterback one. What was your quarterback two there?
Yes. So I'm thinking Jack Tuttle retains his backup position this year once he's able to fully compete in fall camp. Davis Warren, I think, was a serviceable backup, up in during that period where he was injured. But I think with his experience coming back a 7th year, I see him as the backup. Where do you guys see QB2 falling? Maybe.
I mean, I think what you have there is accurate. I think if they do go with an Alex Orji, I think Jack Tuttle is the safe, high floor type player, more probably, game experience, veteran savvy quarterback that I do think would be a QB2. Now, that doesn't mean Davis Warren can't become QB1 either. I think with Davis Warren and Alex Orji, there's more fluctuation in the sense of, Jack Tuttle's going to be old reliable. But Davis Warren and Alex Orji have a little bit more question marks, and I think they could easily be QB1, but they could just as well easily lose the position. So I think they would probably put Davis Warren as third and put the veteran as the QB2. But we'll see too. I mean, listen, here's the reality too for anyone who's concerned like myself. If Jack Tuttle's the quarterback and we're not winning games, he won't be the quarterback. That's just what it is. If the offense is not moving and he's the quarterback, he will not be the quarterback. They will find the best man for the job. At the end of the day, that's just reality.
Yeah. I'm going to put Warren as quarterback 2.
Okay.
So, that's my there's a little nuance here. So if a player gets if there's an injury during the game versus who's going to start the next game, maybe there's a little bit of variation between the two. And if it's a tight game and you need somebody who has experience and Orji got injured mid-game, maybe that's Tuttle. But to start after the Texas game, if it's not going to be Orji, I say it'll go all the way to Warren, not Tuttle. That's my take.
Okay. That's a fair take. And please understand, people who are listening to this, none of this is personal on the players here. I would love if Davis Warren beats out everybody else to take the job. I will be the first in line to support, to break down his prior film, to talk about it with everybody here, and what led to Davis Warren taking the job, right? Like, that would be awesome because it means that, he overtook a dual threat quarterback that they were using in real game time against like the most serious opponents Michigan played all year. And Davis Warren beat him, or Jack Tuttle beat him. That's newsworthy. That's notable. So just to be very clear on that. It's not, we want these players, we love Michigan, we want these players to do well, but we also have to look at it objectively, and we're trying to analyze this stuff. So that's all it is. I understand your point, Ferris, and it was tough. 2 and 3 were tough for me to figure. Like the rest was easier. 2 and 3 were tough because I could see Warren being the backup. I could see Tuttle being the backup. Just makes sense either way. But the last two here, Jayden Davis and Denegal. Jayden Davis just looks like he has a bit more upside than Denegal does. I'm basing some of that on spring game, but also every time Denegal came in as a backup or a third string during the season, it just seemed like things deflated a bit sometimes. Not all the time, because they did make some plays when he came in, but it just didn't excite me. It didn't really seem like a lot was going on once he came in, and so. Compare that to like a JJ McCarthy when he came in the first game against like Western Michigan and threw that ridiculous pass, and then everybody like lost their mind, like, oh my God, Michigan has a quarterback here. You didn't really have a lot of those moments with Denegal, right? So I'm just thinking Davis has a bit more upside, and that's kind of why I have him ahead of Denegal. TJ?
Yeah.
Or Ferris, go ahead.
Go ahead, TJ.
Well, I agree. I think Denegal is on the outside looking in. I think Jayden Davis is QB4. I think you actually have it. I think they will give QB2 to Jack Tuttle, at least in symbolism. It'll be that way on the depth chart. Now, whether that becomes reality on the field, if something were to happen to Alex Orji, do they put Tuttle in or do they put Davis Warren? See, that's the thing. Like we have camp coming up. I think camp starts in 2 weeks. So, it's going to be real interesting to see. Unfortunately, Michigan's fall camp is closed off to the public, but we will get, some intel will leak, some, information will be had. So we'll find out what's going on, what the rumblings are, what the vibe is, and it'll be, it's going to be interesting to see this. I mean, listen, we are all going to be freaking fiending for any quarterback information we can get coming out of camp, because we all know it's the biggest question heading into the season.
Yeah. Just a couple things about, there is a red shirt that could be burned, right? So that's another, or you don't want to burn, right? So just kind of consider that.
But he could play 4 games without losing a red shirt. No doubt.
Yeah. So that's how it would kind of play into things, maybe against lesser opponents. The other thing that I wanted to kind of point out, is let's look at our quarterback room and the Ohio State quarterback room for a second. I'd be interested get your take on the overall room, and also Will Howard versus Alex Orji.
So my take on that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So look, I mean, as it stands right now, Ohio State has a better room. Because they just do. But I do think when Brady Hart is added to the room, and I do think the way things are trending with Trey Taylor, I think Michigan's quarterback room is, with Carter Smith, also coming for the 2025 class, Jayden Davis. We're talking about a serious quarterback room that I think will be able to rival Ohio State's, if not be better, and I think may very well be better. I'm not in love with Will Howard. I do not fear Will Howard. I think Will Howard is an inaccurate quarterback. He becomes listen, Kansas State didn't want Will Howard. Ohio State's going to tell you they did, but they didn't. So the reality is Will Howard, in my opinion, is a downgrade from Kyle McCord. Now, do I think Will Howard is a better quarterback week 1 than Alex Orji? I do. I think Will Howard is a capable quarterback who can win you games. So, there's no question about that. But I also think Will Howard's a limited quarterback. And I do think Alex Orji, as the season goes on, potentially could be the better quarterback at the end of the year than Will Howard. Will Howard's limited as hell. And like the fact that Ohio State thinks they got some gem to fix their quarterback problems is laughable, because the guy's a 60% thrower. His touchdown interception ratio is not amazing. And he's just a dual threat quarterback who can make plays at times. But he's a liability. Don't let them fool you.
Yeah, there's one thing that kind of terrifies me, and that is the rumor that's out there that Julian Sayin might get the job. I still think Aaron Noland. I still think Aaron Nolan's the better quarterback out of the two,
Well,
even though
there's
Julian
rumors he might transfer. There's rumors Aaron Nolan might transfer. So we'll see.
Yeah.
He's right now because the window's not open, but there's rumors he's not happy.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
see.
if Ryan Day has the guts to do that, I would be a little scared of that. But I don't think he will. I think it'll be Will Howard, and I think I would rather have Alex. Or I know I would rather have Alex Orji. I know I am biased, but I just think the upside, the Milrow-like upside, is too good to pass up. If I had a choice between the two.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree, Nathan. It is young, and we're about to run into the same situation in a year. So
yeah,
next 2 years, our quarterback is about to be real young in the next 2 years.
Hey, John, how about you? What do you think about the rooms and at the top of the room there?
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything you guys have said. I don't really think Will Howard. I see Will Howard as being like OSU's Cade McNamara, where he can be serviceable. He's a little
better than Cade. I'll give him that. He's a little better than He's better than Cade. He's better than Cade.
But he's 2021 Cade. 2021 Cade though.
Yeah.
Because
Cade was not mobile.
Cade at a 64%. Cade at 64%.
But what makes Will valuable is his ability to improvise with his legs.
Okay. That's fair. Cade doesn't have that. That's true.
He's a step above Cade.
That's true. But I do think that, given the fact that Kansas State was allegedly going to bench him, that's not exactly a great look. Let's transfer him over to Ohio State. He's going to get benched over there. So I don't love that. Devin Brown, if he seems to get injured. I love the idea. Devin Brown is somebody you love the idea of, but then the actual execution of it and the actual what happens in the game. We were hearing Devin Brown was beating out McCord in practice from the Buckeye podcasts. But clearly that didn't happen. You guys could speculate why, but it did seem like he was in the running against McCord last year. TJ, you were going to say something?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, look at the tape that leaked from spring practice. The quarterbacks look terrible. I'm not if I was Ohio State, I'd be just as nervous as Michigan fans are with the quarterback situation. You guys are not in a good you guys are also in an unknown position. Now what you do have is elite weapons, which should make it easier. And you have two offensive minds who are at the top of the college football, and Ryan Day and Chip Kelly. You do have that on your side. We're realists. We are aware and we acknowledge the reality of that.
Correct.
But listen, your offensive line has its questions, and you are also in a position where you're going to start a new quarterback, and it's going to be questionable. Now, look, you're still going to be a very good team, elite team this year. I don't deny that at all. But I do think you have a quarterback with liability situation, and I don't think your quarterback room is as strong as you guys think it is.
Yeah, as Yogi Berra once said, if you have too many cooks in the kitchen, you get old country buffet. And I think Aaron Nolan is the quarterback who I think has the most talent. I think John would agree with that. But he's just not going to see playing time, and I don't know if it's going to be even next year or if he'll transfer or whatever. And Ohio State has kind of a history of this, of letting quarterbacks go and then they become superstars with a different team. I do know that having a lefty quarterback is confusing to the offensive line because they have to kind of switch assignments. And so maybe that's part of it. It's really hard to be buried in a depth chart and be a lefty quarterback. Yeah, that's just reality. I'm a lefty tennis player, but in football, that's even more of a liability potentially. Go ahead.
As much as Keith is the captain of the Jack Tuttle fan club, I'm on the Air Noland appreciation station. Okay. I think he has talent that is just not being tapped into. But when he was the thing is, he hasn't gotten the opportunities that the others have. Like even Sayin and Keenholtz, they're ahead of him on the depth chart. But look at the opportunity that they gave Aaron Noland. 4 minutes at the end of the spring game. or maybe a little more than that. But in his limited time that he was on the field, 2 touchdowns. So 2 drives that weren't like the very end garbage thing that was a throwaway. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, 100%. Can't ask for anything more than that, in my opinion. I think he'll transfer somewhere great.
Yeah, and maybe I'm looking past Julian saying, like I said, though, if he is number 1 on the depth chart and he's flying up the charts, I reserve the right to rethink my opinion, and I would be scared of Julian saying just kind of winging it around. He is from Carlsbad, California, so I kind of have.
You just moved there, Phil.
Yeah, I kind of have I want him to be somewhere else. I wish he was still in Alabama, right? So.
I was about to say I have a connection to him because he's from Carlsbad. You just moved there, man.
so anyway, which quarterback would I want? I saw that comment. I would want Will Howard because I want Ohio State to lose to Michigan. So that's the quarterback I would want, right? So
I would agree. Julian Sayin and Aaron Nolan, I think, of higher upside quarterbacks. I mean, there's no question. But yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, we'll find out. I mean, listen, what does Will Howard also have? He has experience. He's tested. So I mean, look, he's not garbage. I know, like how I spoke of him was as if he's terrible. He's not terrible. He's just, in my opinion, a liability, and he's not a step above Kyle McCord, which is what you guys wanted, which is why you guys ran him out of Ohio State, which is hilarious.
And to that point, would you rather have McCord, Will Howard, or Alex Orji? Like those 3, rank them.
Kyle McCord.
Yes,
I would rather agree. Kyle McCord.
Yep,
I would rather Kyle McCord. I think Kyle McCord, with our offense, our offensive line, our system, a year older, I think he'd be very good for Michigan.
John's
Alex Orji is boomer bust, man. That's the reality.
Here's the thing. Here's my issue with Kyle McCord. My issue with Kyle McCord is not his talent. My issue with Kyle McCord is that in the biggest stage, in the largest spotlights, he didn't have that dog in him, and he had the best receiver in college football to throw to. And sometimes he was on, and sometimes he would botch a check down. He was very inconsistent, and I think that at Michigan it would be the same thing. Whereas at a school like Syracuse, I think he's going to have an incredible season. I legitimately do. And I think it's because a step back, a little bit less of a spotlight, the pressure's off, you don't have to win every single game, and he can just go sling it. And I think he's going to do very well at Syracuse. I don't think he would do as well at Michigan as he didn't at Ohio State. So for me, I need to see more from Alex Orji, because the last time he really slung it was high school. I need to see like some game film to really make that judgment call to say I'd pick Alex Orji over McCord or Howard. But yeah, I'm going to have to begrudgingly say McCord right this second. But I also reserve the right to change that to Alex Orji if he has some great games.
I want to respond to some of the Buckeyes in the comments talking about we're going to find out with Will Howard. Will Howard's going to show us. Listen, let's just keep it real, okay? Will Howard is a 60% completion thrower, okay? He was 24 for 10 interceptions last year. That's a 2-to-1 ratio. That's not good. And then you want to talk about his red zone efficiency. Guys, he feasted on being able to run. Let me tell you what he's not going to do against Michigan, and ask Jalen Milroe. You're not running. Your quarterback is not running against our defense. We are going to make you one-dimensional. And Will Howard's arm is not going to win you that game. I'm going to tell you that right now. You guys are delusional. Okay, you have a quarterback who has a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, had only 2,600 yards. He's not the savior you think he is. And I'm looking forward to you guys realizing that this season. He's not it, man. And Michigan's going to shut him down. He's not going to run jack on Michigan.
Okay.
Jalen Milroe, your prime example of what a mobile quarterback can do against Michigan. Nothing.
Yeah. I was actually surprised. Yeah.
Our defense is built for a mobile quarterback.
Absolutely. Okay, folks, we do have a couple of super chats we want to get to. First of all, Keegan has a super sticker for $1.99. Thank you for that. And then the question Do turnovers lose games?
100%. They're drive killers. They're momentum shifters. They are the you want to avoid those at all costs. You can win games by not being effective on offense if you limit your turnovers. As long as your defense can shut down the opponent, you can still win games. But if you have turnovers, you're dead. I mean, that's a great way to lose games. Very rarely does a team ever win a game losing the turnover battle. It's not common.
Yeah, turnovers can be very streaky. I did both offensive and defensive analysis in terms of stats that matter, and turnovers matter. I did a smash the numbers yesterday. You can watch that if you'd like. It is a very streaky stat. There are certain stats you have more control over than others, but it's really, really important. Turnovers are super important and can change the game. You can't give your defense, even if it's a top defense, a short field to defend.
Yeah, you just nailed it right there. I mean, the short field situation. That there's a reason why Harbaugh really loved quarterbacks like Cade McNamara, because and why it took some time to move over to JJ, because while JJ provided a lot more upside, he liked the fact that Cade didn't turn over the football. And then he threw 3 turnovers against Hawaii. He threw 3 interceptions against Hawaii. So that pretty much sealed that. But for a while, he was very good in ball security. And so with the way that Michigan runs its offense, which is very pound the rock, it is very ball security heavy. We're not slinging it 50, 60 yards, stretching the field so much, right? Because the defense is so good, you don't have to, but you can't have turnovers, right? And so even with Michigan's system, the way that we run it, yes, turnovers can still lose games. And it's kind of the testament to the coaching that despite the interceptions against Bowling Green, it was still, the score was what it was, because we did have 3 interceptions against Bowling Green. So yeah, 100%, Keegan. And thank you for your super chat, and thank you for your membership. And one more, and then we'll get to our last question of the day. But the Bull has gifted a membership for the Those Who Stay Will Be Champions tier to Cliff Richardson. Who hosts Point a Minute with Mac, and he is now a YouTube member, and so we appreciate you, the Bull.
I believe that puts us at 50. So we now have reached the 50 member mark, if I'm correct, John. I guess I can check that right now, but I think we added 2 today, so that put us at 50. Which, if that's the case, that's a great milestone for the network or for the channel. And greatly appreciate all of you becoming members or gifting memberships. We couldn't do it without you, flat out. So we appreciate every single one of you. And just everyone watching the show, liking the videos. Means a lot to us. Doing the super chats, super stickers, just helping us get to that next level. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick point. I mean, we talk a lot of numbers. We talk a lot of recruits. We get into a lot of detail. We know you have friends who are more friends and family who are more casual, that are just getting into Michigan football for the season. Please let them know about us. We will have content for them as well. It's not going to be in the weeds, with everything that we do. So we will have content for them as well. Please let them know, see if they can kind of stop by, subscribe as well. So just want to kind of make sure everyone knew that.
Absolutely. Yep. We're going to try to have content for everybody. So yeah, we try to make this show where you can drive in, you get your content, you get your intel, and then you get out. But then we'll also have more in-depth stuff, smash the numbers, in-depth recruiting as TJ does his clips. So we try to have stuff for everybody. 2 more super chats. Thank you, everybody. The Bull, for iPhone users who want to gift a membership. This is important. It's about gifting memberships. For iPhone users who want to gift a membership, use desktop version in Safari. It will show in live chat. So thank you, the Bull, for that workaround, and the $4.99. You didn't have to do that, but you did it, and we appreciate that. Finally, Keegan with $1.99. Why would you begin the season with Orgy?
Okay, because so Keegan, here's my question to you, because I feel like you're trying to take an angle here, which I can appreciate your angle. Why are you assuming Orgy is going to be turnover prone? Do you know, like, what has given you the indication that Orgy is going to throw a bunch of turnovers or fumble the ball? We don't know that. That there's nothing, not even his high school statistics to show that that's the case. Now, if you want to look at, well, his inaccuracy, he was inaccurate in high school. He was a low 50% completion thrower. That is a concern. But young quarterbacks can develop and grow and evolve. So we're hoping that's the case. And listen, at the end of the day, and I've said this earlier, if he can't, then he's not the guy. I mean, just flat out. And if you think, and here's what's funny to me, you think Jack Tuttle's the guy. I don't know if that's your position, Keegan, so I'm assuming. But it would lead me to believe that you think maybe Jack Tuttle's the more safe option at quarterback. But I don't know if you know this, but he has 6 interceptions and 6 touchdowns. That's not good. That's bad. That is terrible. That is not a recipe for success. He's more turnover prone. Like, that is not. If you have a quarterback who's 1 for 1, he's not the guy. And so far, Jack Tuttle has that in his career. So I guess my counter argument would be, who is your guy if it's not Alex Orgy? And if you want to say Davis Warren, then that's fair too, because that's also a quarterback we don't quite know what the results will be with him, whether he's turnover prone or not. But I wouldn't assume Alex Orgy is turnover prone, and I would say Jack Tuttle doesn't mean he's safe either, because his statistics show a very high turnover rate.
Yeah, just one other note that didn't get touched on related to that. I don't think the playbook is going to change for Michigan. I saw some comments kind of like, the actual frequencies of certain plays might change depending on the quarterback, but we should be flexible enough to swap out quarterbacks, even a running quarterback versus a more passing quarterback, with the same playbook. The rest of the offense needs to know the playbook down cold, and regardless of who the quarterback is.
Well, I think the playbook does evolve per quarterback. I don't think Alex Orgy and Davis Warren have the same playbook. Like, there are plays you have for an Alex Orgy, and there are plays you don't do with a Davis Warren, or vice versa. Like Davis Warren's arm is a bit more reliable and accurate than an Alex Orgy. At least it appears to be so. So I mean, listen, the foundation of the playbook is the same, which I think is your premise, Ferris. But like, there is definitely variations of the playbook that are dependent per quarterback. No question.
Yeah, I think TJ pretty much covered everything I would want to say on that. We have no evidence that he is turnover prone, other than if you're assuming that a dual threat would be turnover prone. But what we've seen so far in every time he's been on the field for games, and even during spring, you don't really see turnovers from him. But again, it's a small sample size. Right. Really, the last time you had a large sample size was high school film. So right. I think, you're going to have to look at Fresno State and Texas and see kind of how those couple of games go. And then I think you can evaluate it a little bit more. We're 2+ hours in, so let's get to this last question. Voice of College Football is live on location at Big Ten Media Days this week. Michigan is going to be on Thursday, I believe. Michigan will be on stage Thursday. So we actually have the opportunity, folks, to ask Sharon Moore questions. So anybody who gives a super chat, anybody who is a YouTube member will get priority in this. And so I want to ask you guys, what do you want to ask Sharon Moore?
And it's not just limited. Oh, go on. Okay, I was going to say, it's not just limited to Sharon Moore. Max Bredesen, Donovan Edwards, Makari Page. So we have a representative at Big Ten Media Days, our boy JR, as you saw earlier in the show. He has reached out to us to get questions from you guys for him to ask Sharon Moore, Donovan Edwards, Makari Page, and Max Bredesen if he has the opportunity. Well, he will ask the questions. So obviously he'll get one question for Sharon, and he'll get some questions for the other guys. So if you guys want to give us your best questions, we thought of, he asked us initially, and we were like, well, let's leave it up to our community because I bet you they'll come up with some great questions. So if you guys have any questions for us, please put them in the chat. Obviously, those who super chatted or are members will get a higher priority. But yeah, we greatly appreciate your feedback on that. Looking forward to Big Ten Media Days, and also, having JR, who is a Buckeye, ask Sharon Moore a good question. So that'll be fun to watch.
We do have one so far. So the only person who's answered so far is a Buckeye.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, come on, Michigan fans, step it up. ZZM, who is a member,
it's a great question.
It is a great question. What is the major adjustment needed from going from O-line coach and OC to head coach? That could be an interesting one.
Yeah, no, that's actually a damn good question, and maybe we will take that question, ZZM. Like, just because you're a Buckeye, hey, listen, man. Just because you root for the other team doesn't mean we don't appreciate. One, we do appreciate you. You're here frequently. We appreciate you, man. And we may disagree, but it's all love. And listen, if you ask a good question, we'll use it, man. No question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got another quick point here.
Yeah.
We allow Buckeyes to talk on TJ's show on Thursday, certainly, and in the chat as well. That doesn't happen. There are many other. I'm not saying in Voice of College Football, but there are many other podcasts out there where they, I just make one comment and then I'm blocked from even interacting with other fans or whatever. And the title of their show is Michigan. It's not Ohio State. It's Michigan. Something about Michigan or Stallions or whatever. So one thing for all of you Buckeyes that are out there, you're welcome to talk in person like us on StreamYard with TJ on Thursdays. We invite you to do that if you think we're wrong about something.
Yeah, we encourage good debate, good discussion, because honestly, we've had probably 5 rivals from Notre Dame, Ohio State, and not one time has it been an unpleasant conversation. It's been a good intellectual volley. We've had some good conversations from Sean Garner to King to my guy, Dr. Buckeye. There was another one. We had the Notre Dame fan call in. So, yeah, no, I mean, listen, we don't shy away from rivals. That's college football, man. Like, listen, I've said it and I'll say it before. You make it more fun. Without you, it'd be less fun. I still love football. I still love college football. But listen, I may not like you, but I don't mind having you around. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. It's just where we are with it. So we appreciate the rivalry. We always will. We respect the rivalry. You're all losers, but, it's cool that, it's cool to have losers around at times. It's all good.
All right, y'all. Let's wrap this up with. It looks like the Bull has a $4.99 for us, so this is definitely going to be in the consideration. What do you think led to your success as a coach, rising up the ranks? Nice.
Yeah, great question.
Love that one.
I'm going to send these to our guy tonight.
Okay.
So I appreciate your suggestion, B-Dub. Appreciate your contribution and your super chat, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And you know what? You did very well if you watch Big Ten Media Day. See your question asked on TV, because we got to watch it today. It was pretty fun to see our guy down there.
Yeah. This is the second year that Voice of College Football is taking our brand of journalism to Big Ten Media Days. And yes, it's going to be JR. JR is asking. Yep. So we've got the questions that everybody's asked so far. We've got those. So we'll put those in a list with maybe a couple of our own, and we'll see what happens. But we really appreciate everybody helping out with that. And with that said, we appreciate those of you who stayed a little bit past when we normally go, but I think most of you don't like when we do longer shows based on the feedback I've gotten. So that's great, and we try to avoid them. But when we have an interview plus a crap load of content, it just happens. So with all that said, it's time for final thoughts on where can people find you. So Ferris, start with you. As always, appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you as well. I did do a Smash the Numbers that came out yesterday. Stay tuned, or listen to that, and then stay tuned for lots of stuff that's going to come out from our channel surrounding game day, and some of the things that we're going to have during the season, which will be a shift in our schedule from
I think we could
the summer. So
we
go
can
ahead.
announce it. We can announce it first.
All right. Well, TJ, I'll let.
All right.
Yeah, you go ahead. Well, I'll just kind of. Well, we can talk about it together. How's that? Since I'm on still, real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So as everyone knows, we have our Tuesday show with me and John and Ferris as well joining us every Tuesday, and then Thursday we have the call-in show with myself and a special guest every Thursday. And when the season begins, we're obviously going to have our post-game show, which you guys are all aware of, that me and John are going to be doing. But me and Ferris were doing some thinking, and we were like, you know what? Let's bring a pregame show to the channel. So me and Ferris are going to host the pregame show, and what we're going to look to do is we're going to look to see if we can get perspective from the opponent, from someone who covers the team, and see if we can get a nice 10 to 15-minute interview for you guys on pregame show. And then we're going to break down the show, we're going to break down the game. Not only like tail the tape, the matchup, but also, as you guys know, Ferris is a numbers guy, right? So we're going to get into the numbers. We're going to look into the matchup, the opponent, and at the end of the show, we're going to make predictions. So we're gonna have that for you. So we'll have a great preview for the show, a new pregame show coming this fall. Looking forward to you guys watching it, and me and Ferris are definitely going to do our best to make it the best day in pregame show of any Michigan coverage in the game right now.
Yeah, and we're totally fine if you're watching TV and you're also sort of commenting along with us as well. That's fine. Yeah,
that works.
Just kind of remember us that, hey, I have a comment about something. Maybe it was something that somebody said in the pregame show. Just you could bring it up with us in our show. In the TV pregame show, you can bring it up with us on our show.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm telling you right now, man, I'm feeding for football. I cannot wait to do the pregame show, just getting ready for the game. So how it's going to work, and I didn't even get into it, it's going to be 1 hour before kickoff, regardless of when kickoff is. And then, so we're going to be on for about an hour. And then also, we'll take some questions here and there. I don't know if we'll get to calls because we're going to be limited in that time span, but we will definitely evolve the format and approach, and hoping you guys can join us. Looking forward to it.
All right. Sounds great. We will talk soon. It did not, the sun didn't set yet, still half an hour away. So, only 7:20 here in California. It's really hard to adjust to this because I have to get up at 5, but it's great. So thanks for having me on again.
Yep.
Absolutely, Ferris. Always great.
Go blue.
Go blue.
Go blue, buddy.
Okay. Well, TJ, big one today, and we got another big one Thursday because looks like Darren Talks Ball's coming back on Thursday.
Yeah, so next Thursday's show will be the call-in show at 8 p.m. Join me, call in. We could talk ball. Obviously, it's open topic. It's not limited to any topic. I will open the show, of course, with the recruiting weekend because it's major. I'm sure there's going to be some things that happen the next 2 days. So we'll definitely be covering it more in depthly. And then obviously, as you guys call in, we'll take calls. We'll go one by one. Any topic you guys want to hit on, whether it be Michigan, which is obviously, the main topic typically, or if you guys want to talk college ball in general, because we're always down to talk college ball. So, looking forward to that. Should be a great show. I got my guy, Darren Talks Ball, certified ball knower. He was on last month. We're going to have him on again by popular demand. Dude, it's fun, man. I love the show. I think it'll be show 10, which will be a new milestone for the show. So looking forward to that. And then obviously you can find me at Twitter at TJ_Ronin. Keep building that. I'm 150 away from 1,000 followers, as Jackson Johnson pointed out. So, help me get there. I appreciate that. Drop in information when I get it. It's been a little quiet recently, but as it comes, I'll drop it. If I don't got it, then I don't got it. It is what it is. And then I want to hit on this question because I think this is a fair question because we did promote this for a few weeks. And the question is, what happened to the booster interview? This is a very good question, DDR. We have it. It's on the back burner because we've been requested by the booster to hold it because Publicly, there may be things they are not fully comfortable with sharing that they may have shared. Also, they're very high profile individuals, so their image, things like that. They don't want to put out a bad representation of themselves, or not of themselves, but you never know what can be used against you in any way, especially when you're a high profile individual. So it's on the back burner. It's not dead yet. So we're hoping to be able to release it. It's something me and Ferris worked very hard on. It is a great interview. It's very insightful. It's very interesting. It is a she. She is so interesting. So hopefully we will be able to release that for you guys at some point. I'm hoping to have it for you, but I didn't want to talk about it until we got a green light, because I thought it wasn't fair to you guys to keep bringing it up and teasing you and not being able to release it. So we were able to get the Andrew Marsh interview for you guys today. We have more interviews coming in down the pipeline in the future. I am hoping to get this interview for you guys because it is a cool one. And hopefully, and the intention also is this will not be the last booster we have for you guys. Hopefully we'll be able to bring more for you guys. There's another one we're kind of targeting right now. So we'll see what we can do there. And but great question, DDR. When I bring it up again, it will be because it is green lighted. If it is not green lighted, we're gonna let it sit on the back burner, and maybe one day we can have it for you guys. So fair question. I appreciate you reaching out, and thank you for remembering too, because you're obviously a loyal listener, so we appreciate that. So so you can get me on Twitter at TJ_Ronin. John, great show again. We crushed it. Another major episode, and just love doing these with you, buddy.
Likewise, man. And you can follow me at John Diadamo on Twitter. So it's a nice, easy one. So you can get our handles below here. Thanks to Justin Adams Graphic. We do want to encourage everybody to get on over in 5 minutes. Oregon Ducks Live. The topic this week is Oregon making a huge splash already. Get it? So check that out. Here's the link where you can go right over. It's Exploring with Ben. It's Spaz. It's others that come in and out. Special guests. They do. It's a fun time over there at Oregon Ducks Live. So go check it out. Give them a like and support some of the other shows on the Voice of College Football Network.
Oh yeah. All right, John. Well, let's send it out. As you know, it is always go blue.
Go blue, and see y'all next time.